podcast. We are so glad to have you here. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness. I'm Memaw. Did you guess that? Did you guess out of the two of us
I
that
didn't think
I
I
would
would
be
be
Memaw?
wrong.
You think
Saying
they guessed?
I'm Morgan, and we are
Yeah.
so happy to be here.
Yeah. And what's really cool about the letter we'll be talking about in a little bit, but I needed to point this out right now. The letter said, Dear Memaw and Morgan.
It said to both of us. How
Yeah, it said to
sweet.
both of us. Does that touch your heart,
I
Morgan?
love that. It makes me feel important.
Yeah, you are important.
I
I
know.
couldn't do
Well,
this without you. Who would I be
right.
talking to?
Oh, right. It'd be so
To
boring.
to
So
I would be bored, thank you, Morgan.
right.
It would be boring. That
So
might
boring.
when your kid tells you that, oh my
Right.
goodness
Come on.
gracious.
We need more.
Anyway, we are so glad you're here. If you have listened to us before, welcome back. If not, you should
Mhm.
follow us on other
And
social medias, right,
right.
Morgan? Right. Tell
Right.
them about the other social medias. Come on.
We are on everything. We are on Instagram. We're on YouTube. Obviously, if you're watching us there, we're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. So Facebook, we're Dear Mima. Mima Talks on Instagram and TikTok Mima on TikTok. If you can't find us everywhere, find us one place, look in the bio, and it has the links for every
Exactly.
other social media you can
Exactly.
get us.
And I'm telling you, if you're just hearing us for the first time, or if you're listening to us on Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, you'll really want to find us on a social media because we have
Yes.
a lot of
Right.
talks that we have done. A lot. Hundreds of talks. So you really should follow us on one of those too, I would suggest.
Yeah.
And you know what? You might want to follow us on YouTube so you could actually see us.
Fun. It's fun over
That's
here.
kind of fun. That's kind of fun. So what I do on TikTok is I started out about 6 or 7 months ago doing speeches and talks and things like that, telling people about things that have happened to me in my lifetime and trying to help people, and we started getting so many letters from so many people that we decided to make a podcast and answer the questions, and we're doing that by way of letters. So you're writing to Dear
Me
Mima and
and Morgan.
Morgan.
Right. And
So
Morgan.
you should tune in all the time. We've got other talks here too, but yeah, that's
Yes.
what our podcast is all
Something
about.
for everyone.
Right, and we need you to write the letters to us, so we'd appreciate you writing your questions to
Yes.
dearmemawpodcast@gmail.com, and we won't even use your name. We'll
Nope,
make up a name, and
nope.
nobody sees the letters but me and Morgan, and if you really want to, go ahead and write the letter and then tell me that you don't want me to use it, just so you can get all of
Get it
that
off your
out.
chest. Right, get
Yep,
it out.
because you know what? Writing is kinda like journaling, which super helps everybody,
Feels
so
good. Get it
that might
out.
be a good idea for you to do too.
I
So,
like it. I like it.
anyway, let's get right into this. Morgan will be reading our letter from Maryanne today. Maryanne?
Yes, Maryanne, all
Is it
right.
Maryanne? Yeah, I'm not good with
Maryanne,
the
yes.
pronunciation, Morgan, so you'll be in charge of that. But Morgan will be reading our letter, and let's get it going.
All right, so like Mima said, this is a letter from a 60-year-old woman, Maryanne, so let's see what she's got for us. I've always been independent and outspoken. I was raised in a close traditional family where my mother put everyone else first, and I learned early that women were expected to keep the peace by being agreeable. That never really fit me. I'm the oldest with two younger brothers. I chose my own path, built small businesses, stayed self sufficient, and followed my dream of raising and training horses. Marriage and children weren't my journey, but I built a life I love. I'm now 60, living on a small ranch, debt free and content. My brothers chose a different life marriage, kids, big homes, long work weeks. That was their choice, and I never judged it. Over the years, though, they made repeated passive aggressive comments toward me, suggesting I was selfish or had so much free time because I didn't have a spouse or children. They expected things from me, and when I set boundaries and said no, the digs continued. Still, I was always the one who made the effort to stay connected, calling, planning lunches, trying to keep a relationship alive. The effort was never returned. Finally, I asked them directly why I was always the one reaching out. Their answer was simple: we don't call because we don't want to. That's when I realized they only engaged with me out of obligation. They didn't argue. I didn't argue or explode. I just quietly walked away. That was 5 years ago. I still struggle with it. I know I didn't do anything wrong except choose a non-traditional life. I'm left wondering, why did that make them turn so hard against me? Marianne.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
And let me just say, coming from another woman in her 60s, I think your life sounds wonderful. To live on a ranch with horses. I
Right.
mean, we all make choices, and the fact that you chose a life with no husband or kids,
Right.
that's your choice.
And, like, how are you gonna tell me how to live my life? Just
Yeah,
because what
you
works for you
cannot tell
works
me.
for you, but that don't work for me. That's and it does
Right,
not work for you.
right, right, exactly. And you seem to touch with us on family roles, independence,
Right. Right.
estrangement. There's a lot of family roles. And
Yes.
what's crazy is we've been talking a lot, Morgan, uh, about family roles. That's why I chose this letter, because we've been talking more about parent kid, but this
Right.
goes with those topics that we've been talking about,
Right.
right?
Right.
Um, and this is a different kind of separation.
Right.
So let's just go through it. I think you're a very honest person. You seem like you're a kind, honest person. And if I just had to say one thing, it appears to me that they might be jealous.
Oof. Yes, that word
They might be
jealousy.
jealous
Yes.
because they're working a lot, trying to keep up with the Joneses almost, it seems like. And
Right.
you have this quaint, wonderful life on a ranch with horses and no responsibilities that they have. We're not
But,
saying you don't have
Mima,
responsibility.
with that being said, they chose the life they chose.
Exactly. Okay, exactly. And so what that your role isn't traditional? Who
Right.
is
Exactly.
anybody to judge what your role is?
Come on, guys,
You
it's
know?
2025. It's 2025.
Yeah,
Times have
yeah.
changed. It's not the same it
And
used
you
to be.
know, the their idea that they're mad at you because you're independent. You can do what you wanna do, when you wanna do
Have
it,
the
how you
freedom.
wanna do it.
Right, you're not tied
See,
down to responsibilities.
yeah, and that goes, I think, why I think that there's jealousy there because,
Right.
you know,
And
they
it's
see your
crazy,
life.
because it's not even necessarily that they want her life, because like I said, they could have had her life. It's just that they're
Exactly,
in the moment of the chaos and stress of their own life, it looks nice for you to be able to have that freedom of, "I don't have kids and I don't have things," but again, they chose what they chose.
right. You're right, right. And, you being the oldest and you're the only girl of the kids,
Right.
you say that to us that you did the traditional roles growing up and stuff like that, and maybe they were used to this and what the lifestyle you're living now is maybe not traditional to them, so
Right.
they don't agree with it. We don't know about that, but
Right.
there is emotional weight to being the different one in the family. A
Yes.
lot of us call it I've called myself this my entire life, was I was the black sheep of the family. I was always the black sheep, and
Completely.
maybe that's what you're, getting through to us is that you feel like you're the black sheep of the family. Like, they're on one side and you're on the other. What's really funny about black sheep of the family, though, that's really funny about that, is they are usually the good ones. And I don't know how that works out, but the ones that are estranged from the rest of the family are usually ones that are doing their life the way they're supposed to.
Well, it's crazy because those are the ones that are, like, challenging things, like generational patterns and, like, not repeating
Exactly.
things that have been the same for so many years just because it's been the same for so many years. I know they have that quote, "If it's not broke, don't fix it," but sometimes we need to change things because we gotta change with the
Exactly.
times. It's not the same.
Exactly, and maybe, we don't know, maybe they were a little bit mad that you weren't taking care of them or helping them or doing stuff with them, but, you did what the oldest and the female of the family usually does, you try to get everybody together,
Right.
you're like the
Kept it
matriarch
organized.
kinda role,
Right. Right.
Morgan's the oldest daughter of the family, so I'm sure that she could probably feel some of that too,
Right.
you know?
Right. Trying to be the glue basically that holds everybody together, that keeps everybody together.
Yeah, and Morgan I have, 3 sons and 2 daughters, so Morgan's kinda used to that with having 3 brothers also,
Right.
so, um but it seems to me that you were the quiet strength. You were the
Right.
quiet strength, and you walked away from the drama. I applaud
Right.
you for that, you
Right.
know? Um, I
And I
always
think,
say
Emma, it sucks. It's hard when the support is not coming from our family, right? Because we expect that. We expect, like, you have my back. You're my family. I grew up with you. I've known you my whole life. You expect these people to have your back. But again, when these roles were started, women were not working 40 hours a week. Like, their
yeah,
responsibility was just the kids. It's not like that.
exactly.
That's not the world we live in anymore. So,
Yeah, and why do families assign this traditional roles anyway? That's
right.
craziness.
Right.
So what, the woman is supposed to be the carekeeper, the peace person, and everything like that. Is that the assigned roles? Like, who gave us that assignment?
I feel like it's almost like an unspoken expectation, just something that's kind of like we said, just goes along with the generations and
We need to get over that then, Morgan. We
right.
need to get over
No,
that.
I agree. I think that people like Maryanne, they need to challenge that and they need to change
Yes,
the narrative. And I think that we cannot push babies and things like that onto people. Like, wouldn't that be worse if you're forcing these people to do it and it's not really something they
right,
want? Then it's not they're
right.
not gonna be a good parent, they're not gonna
Exactly,
be a good
exactly.
wife, they're not gonna be a good whatever it is you're trying to force them to be because it's not really what they want. So
And right here is just proof with her. She said, "No way," to the
right, I'm
assigned
good.
roles that society had for her. No, no,
But
I'm not doing
she's
it.
still successful in her own way. Her success is just not measured by
And
kids
happy.
and marriage, right, and all these other standards,
That's what matters.
right,
That's
that people
exactly what
have put
matters,
out.
and what she's doing is not hurting them at all.
No,
But
right.
at what
It's
cost
hurting
is it?
them in the essence that they just don't like what they have to see because it's not
But why? Why? Do you have an idea? I don't know.
listen,
That's
'cause
why I say jealousy. If you have another idea, tell me
I
because
think
I don't
too,
know why.
it's easy for other people to tell you how to live your life. Like, just because you don't have kids and you don't have a marriage doesn't mean you don't have your own challenges that come up. It doesn't mean it's a cakewalk every day. It doesn't mean that you don't
Exactly.
have things that you go through. You still have your own obstacles that you have to overcome just because
Right.
you chose this life of quote unquote freedom, I guess you could say, that they're trying to make it seem that way. You still have your own stuff going on. It doesn't mean
Well,
that
it's crazy, Morgan, that in society they say a woman should get married and have children. To
right.
be a fulfilled woman, you need to get married and have children. That's a crock of shit. Like,
But
no,
then I feel like
no.
then you get with things like that, you get these people who then rush into marriage that is not really what they want.
Definitely.
'Cause and now we're having divorce and we're having broken homes and we're having kids without both parents, and that's a whole different conversation to have. So,
Right. Right. That's a
like,
whole different podcast.
I have to find an appreciation for people like Marianne who had made that choice that I didn't want kids, I didn't want marriage, I didn't force it, so I'm living
Right.
chilling. You're not doing like you said, Mima, you're not hurting anybody. You're not
No, she's not hurting anybody. And why does her independence threaten them? It threatens them.
because jealousy. Jealousy is such an ugly
That's
word,
what I'm saying. It's
right?
gotta be jealousy. It's gotta be. Um, and it's funny because it kinda goes along with, if you're child free or unmarried, people think that you have more time available,
Right.
like, because you're not doing that, but she has put her time into the horses
Other
and the
things,
ranch.
right, her
That's a
businesses, she
lot
has
of work.
other things that she's built up that she
Right,
has,
right,
right,
right.
dedicated her
And,
time to.
it's a false assumption to think that somebody who is self-employed or somebody that has solo lives have an easier life. I mean, we can attest to the fact that people that are self-employed, me, work more hours than probably people that aren't
Well,
self-employed.
and there's a quote that says, like, if you were, like, in a room and everybody dumped out their problems, you would probably pick your problems right back up because you don't know what other people are going
Man,
through. Like,
I've
you
heard
don't
that
know.
before,
You would
Morgan,
choose
that is
your problems like, I would choose my problems 100 times over dealing with
yeah,
what other people are going through.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
And to me, the brothers are dismissing the labor factor that she has every day. Working on a farm, a ranch, I grew up on one. That's the hardest thing in the world to do. You are working and working and working every day. Doesn't matter if it's a holiday, doesn't matter if it's a school day, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So she's working all the time. Those horses need to eat.
Like, I hate this comparison. I don't know, in this day and age, it seems like there's always the comparison, like, I have it harder or harder, like, there's always, my life is harder or my struggles are harder, and it's like, why is it a competition? We all have struggles, we all have our own things that we're dealing with, like,
You're right. Why
it's
is it a
everybody else
competition?
right,
I don't
why is it a
know.
competition that my hard is worse than your hard? Like, that's not what it's about.
Do you think that makes people feel better? Like,
I feel like it does, like, I'm working harder than you, so I don't know,
right,
it feels like a sense of entitlement, like, I work harder than
right.
you, so I deserve things to be easy, or I deserve to things to be a certain way, and that's not how life
Right.
works,
You know what
so
really makes me mad about this scenario is it seems like the brothers are punishing her for her boundaries instead of respecting them,
hey,
you know?
and I feel like a lot more honest communication needs to happen because there's definitely some
Right.
deep feelings there that are not being
There
discussed.
definitely is. There
Right,
definitely is. And again, like I always say, like we've said in the last podcast, we need to talk. I don't care what relationship it is, you need to sit down and talk about it, and I totally understand sometimes
Conversations
people
are
don't wanna talk
hard,
to you.
words are hard, right,
Yeah, they don't wanna talk to you.
but I think the impact
Sometimes
of not having those conversations is worse than having those conversations
exactly. But sometimes why people don't wanna talk to you?
'cause they don't wanna hear the truth.
Because then they have to face
Right, they don't wanna hear the
what
truth.
they have done,
Right.
and then you'd have to admit it.
And
So,
I think in life, often we want to, like, tell people how they should feel. I can't tell you how you should feel in a situation, like, how you feel is how you
yeah.
feel, so express that. You're allowed to feel how you feel in a situation.
And do you understand how much that hurts her to know that this relationship is conditional?
Right,
Like, they didn't really like her.
right. So, like,
They
what if
didn't
I
like
had
her.
kids and I was married, we would be cool? And I was struggling in the ways, like,
Yeah.
stress that you're struggling, we would be cool? That doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right,
They're crazy. But you
right.
know what? We give you kudos to the max
For standing up?
that you had the strength to walk
Yes.
away quietly.
Right?
That's
Because
a
you could have
lot,
just
dude.
dealt with it. Just sat there and kept dealing with it, and that's not
You
cool
you
either.
weren't cold, you weren't unforgiving, you weren't
Mm-mm.
any of those. You walked away and decided to have peace in your life. That is tough. That is
There's
tough.
no
Because
price
when you
put
take
on
people
peace.
out of your life, and I can speak from
Oh,
experience,
yeah.
when people leave your life, you are grieving someone who's still alive, and that's one of the toughest things there is to do.
I agree
So,
with that. That's a different
that
kind of grief. Right.
yeah, and you had to do this, and it's been a long time. I think that you said it was 5 years,
Right.
Um, that's a long time, but you
Yeah.
had to pick your peace, and they
Right.
weren't peace. You have to do what you have to
And you
do, and it
tried. I mean, you tried the lunches, you tried to keep the relationships going, you tried to keep and then you know what? When you stopped, it stopped. So that just shows you enough of where the effort was coming from and how much they really wanted to be around and involved.
exactly, and they had strong judgment against her, and that's what's wrong, that they made a judgment against her just on what they saw.
Right. And you know what? We all have the same 24 hours a day. So if we have to put our time towards things that we want. So if that was a relationship they wanted, no
Exactly,
matter how busy their lives were, they would take the time to invest in that relationship.
and you know what? We don't know this, but have they ever asked her why she didn't
Right?
wanna get married and have children?
Right?
Maybe there's a really good
Traumatized. Right.
reason.
Who knows? Right.
I mean, we know people that don't wanna have children, and we
Right.
understand totally, but there's different reasons for different people,
Right.
and she has her own reason, and they should have asked you
Right.
instead of
Why?
judging you.
Right. Right.
That's a problem we have nowadays, Morgan, though, is not
Yes.
enough people just talk about this. They
Well, I
just
think
don't
it's
talk
easier
about this.
too to talk about other people than like reflect on yourself. So it's easier to, I don't know, misjudge, misguide people than
Maybe that's what it is,
have the
you
tough
know?
conversations. I don't
But I
know.
have to tell you that her choosing her own path is not betrayal. You did not betray anybody. You did what you had to do, and we
Right.
always say that. Um,
Because how is that fair to you to stay in this miserable cycle of this relationship is only alive because you're keeping it alive?
right.
No. That would be more miserable for you than I know walking away is hard, but that
Yeah.
would be more miserable to live in
It's
that.
almost like if she kept trying to keep it alive, you're trying to chase a connection. Like, they
Right.
made it where you guys aren't talking. Like,
Right.
how much do you keep chasing people? How much do you keep trying to get a connection? Is
Right.
there somewhere you stop?
Right. Well, and like I said, we make time for what's important. So if they wanted a relationship with you, you can pick up a phone, you can text, you can
Yeah.
call. Like I said, we all have the same 24
Right.
hours. Just because your
Right.
24 hours are not with kids does not mean that your 24 hours are not busy.
No, and like I said, those horses still gotta eat all the time, they have to be ridden, they
Right.
have to be washed, they have to and we don't even know what other kind of animals, plants,
Right.
things she has out there. We don't
Right.
even know. Chickens, we don't know, and you know what? I love your life. I think your life is amazing. That's my goal for my life, is to have the ranch with the animals, and that's what I'm working for right now, is to get that, and you know what? We can't make people like us. I've learned that myself just recently. If people don't like you, no matter what you say to them, no matter what you do for them, no matter what, you can't make them like you.
Well, and like that's not really a person you would want in your life anyway. If I have to like force you to like me, that's not genuine.
I 100% agree, Morgan. So Maryanne, I am proud of you. I love your life. I think you're doing what you need to do, and you are strong, a strong, independent woman. Woo! We're proud
Right.
of you. And, and I'm sorry you're going through the pain. I know the pain. I know. But sometimes that's how life works, and you did
You
what you
know,
had to do.
and I think sometimes we create our own family. It's okay. Like, we
Yeah,
we have friends that turn into family, so
I
just
agree.
because your blood does not necessarily mean that.
I totally
So
agree.
come on.
So, you know what? You keep being strong, Marianne, and I am happy that you chose yourself first. That's what
Yes.
we have to do. So, and again, thank you. We appreciate you writing your letter into us. Morgan
Yes.
appreciates that you mentioned her
Yeah,
too, so
Morgan.
we liked that.
Mhm.
We hope that we helped you in some way. You can always email us back and tell us how you felt about it.
Yeah,
We've had that happen before too, which makes us happy
that you heard it.
when
You
people
heard it.
listen to it, because I bet you it's kind of interesting to listen to a whole
Right.
podcast about
This is
your
about me.
letter.
Right.
Oh my
Me.
gosh, they're talking about
Right.
me. Yeah.
Right.
You can listen to it while you're riding horses and stuff. That sounds pretty
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you, and if you want us to talk about the issues you may be having, again,
At
dearmemawpodcast@gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Um, don't send them in the DMs or the messages.
Cool.
I get too many to be able to follow up on those, so please
Yes.
do that way. Um, you got anything else, Morgan?
That's it, Mima. I think
Mm,
that was a great conversation, though. It's definitely
yeah,
relatable. The family
very
dynamics are
relatable.
so complicated.
I think we must be on December family dynamics because
You
that
know,
seems to
the
be.
holidays definitely brings the feels with that, so
I think you're right. The holidays
yeah,
do bring the feels. Maybe that's what I can talk about is the
yeah,
holidays bringing the feels.
yeah,
So, understandable.
yes.
So we are going to sign out for today, and we
Yeah,
appreciate you, and join us next time. We do these podcasts every few days, so just follow us.
we'll be back.
And I am going to say goodbye, but Morgan's is our official goodbye.
Alright, Mima out, Morgan out. Until next time.
Until next time.